gentleman asked what the manual pump shift is. Manual pump shift is if your air shift went out and you need to put your pump in gear. This lever will actually pull the mechanisms in the transfer case to make the gears align so you can do it. A lot of times you cannot pull this right now because it's harder to hit. So what you do is somebody else crawls under the truck with what you have it blocked, wheels blocked. You're going to turn the drive shaft and then you're going to pull on this lever and then you feel it line up and come out. Now it is in pump gear. What you have to do next, even though this is not working, your pump shift is not working, you still have to put it down into pump. The reason you have to do that, if you don't do that and put it into drive, it's going to start off in low gear, and as you increase the throttle, it's going to shift upwards. So if you set it at 100 pounds there, and it's going to shift, and he's going to start getting a lot more pressure at him. Okay, that's how you can still get it into gear. And it is not an easy process, and I hope it doesn't happen to you, is all I gotta say. So, but that is how that system operates. And it's the same on this unit, it's the same if you have it on that unit, they all operate the same thing. You still have to tell the computer that you want to stay in fourth gear, and that's why this you have to do that. And when I'm crawling under the truck to do all of this, I normally have this unit shut off and my wheels blocked, so I know for sure I'm not gonna get rolled over.
Yes.
Because you would not even be a road hump. Okay, did I answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, while we're standing here, you have an air primer, works off of air. You bring your RPM, if you're gonna draft with it, you bring your RPMs up to 1,000 RPMs in the RPM mode, not in the pressure mode, but in the RPM mode. Bring it up to 1,000 RPMs. Got your hose out, you got everything out, set down on that and let it run. It's not like you have with the other ones where you only can do it for so long. This one you can do it as long as you need to. As long as you have air pressure and the motor's running, you're going to get it done. It primes a lot, about 4 times faster than what you're used to. It primes really quick. Okay? The other thing you have on here is what we call an intake relief valve. Intake relief valve, we have to put one on your truck to protect the pump and you and everything in here. Normally they're over there and they're preset by us at whatever pressure you tell us to do. We preset them at 125 normally. I don't know what hydrant pressures you have around here, but evidently they vary. If we're working at a hydrant right now, this one's set at about 145 pounds of pressure. So anything, if you hit a plug with 150 on it, it's going to start blowing water on the ground. And when I say blowing water on the ground, it's going to blow a lot of water on the ground because it's a straight 2-inch pipe. I need to bring it up. All I have to do is pull this out and turn it. I don't have any air pressure, and that is up to 150. I want to bring it back down to what's your normal hydrant pressure around here? 100.
Yeah, 100. Anywhere between 85 and 100.
I want to bring it to 100. It's set at 100. Anything over 100, it's going to dump to atmosphere. And okay, now if it's dumping to atmosphere and you're not going to worry about it, go ahead and start flowing water. It takes that problem away, and the valve will shut off on its own. But I can adjust it if I get to if somebody's pumping to me and it's too high, I can change it. It's a very neat system that you can change on the fly. Where the other one, you got to hook a pumper to it, you got to pump to it with pressures and all this. I can do this all running right here. Right here is a pump overheat. That's the test for it. It's working. If that starts flashing at you and buzzing at you, that's telling you that your pump is overheating. That means you need to flow water, dump it on the ground, recirculate. Recirculating through the tank is normally not helping you too much because the water in the tank is normally hot anyway, for a period, because people say, well, why do you say that's hot? It's been 100 degrees here for 2 weeks. What do you think the water temperature is sitting in that station? It's going to be 100 degrees, and that starts kicking off at about 120, 130. So it doesn't take very much for it to cool, so you need to dump it to atmosphere. Okay? Let's see what else is over here that we need to do. Okay. This is the power equipment rack to let this stuff down. One thing you need to, I cannot impress on you enough, is look around before you put this down. Your car was too close, you know, it's not going to do it. You flip the switch there, and you leave it down. All right, anybody see a problem there? There's something you got to think about before you use this.
You gotta get your stuff out of your cabinets before.
No?
Gotta get your stuff out of the cabinets before.
That's exactly it. Get whatever you want out of this before you let this down. Because if you don't, you're going to have to take this off, put it on the ground, then bring this back up before you can get whatever you want out of that. So be careful with that. Out it comes. It's designed to just come out, and you got to pick it up, move it out, and that's the way it stays in there. You have flashing yellow light here, and you have a flashing yellow light right here. And I suggest, I know normally you're going to be setting it up right here anyway. You're not going to be moving it, so putting it back, I would still, once I got my tank off, I would put this up and get it out of my way as far as an operational type thing. Put it back up.
What's our drop tank capacity?
2,500.
That's all there is to it. Other than it's going to take 3 of you to do it. It's not, even though it's a rack coming down, it's still, that thing is still heavy. It's aluminum, but it is still quite heavy.
Keep in mind also when you're putting that tank back in the cradle, you're going to put it in right side up as it's sitting in front of you. And then when you flip it up, it'll be upside down and drain that water.
And it drains the water out, and you'll never have any water in it. It will take most of the water out that would be bothering you. Okay. We do have water on board. Who's the driver on this unit? I need a pump here.
I don't have a pump.
Start pushing buttons, like any other one.
Okay. The reason that I'm lecturing him about doing what he just did is I'd already had the unit running, so it's already done the sweep. Okay? Go for it. You did everything correct. Done it. Watch this lead. Let's move. What do you want your preset? 125.
Combat ready.
We did 95 on the squat. Just inch and 3/4 wrestling.
Alright, here's how you do this. You want to reset this pump, your pressure right now, you do it just like we're doing, not at a fire. Okay? Come over here, you hold the preset button. Start flashing at me. Got it down to 100. I'm done. Okay, we were talking about earlier about drafting. I always draft in RPM mode. Okay? I draft in RPM mode. I put it in RPM mode. They set your RPM in 1100. No big deal. It's at 100 over. All right. The other thing right quick is that is the idle button. I know that some people will train, you never use the red button because it's a hurts the throttle. It's a computer. That's inner. And you're just telling the computer to punch the button. Alright, I'm going to be in RPM mode. I'm going to hit my preset button. It's going to bring me up to 1100. Get it. Go. Watch your hose and you'll know when it picks it up. Once it's picked it up, you can idle back. And if I want to go, I got lines deployed now, and I'm going to start giving them water. We don't want to work in RPM mode fight fire because I have no protection for my fireman. Somebody comes down the line, he's going to get a very crispy. It will protect him a little bit, but not as good as the other. To get it to change from over and idle, you hold the preset button, and it automatically will change. You have to hold it if it's above and idle. The other thing you guys have to remember, this tank to pump, tank refill, tank recirculation line is an 1.5-inch line. So if you have it open at any stage, you need to calculate in your head what you're doing over here. Okay? Now, this little munchkin is here to design to help this pump and keep it safe. Okay? So, what it's going to do, I'm up at 6 pounds, not too bad. What it does is you start losing water. RPM go up, start telling me that. I'm going to do that for a little bit. It's still getting water, but it's telling me I got low water. Now what did it do? It comes back to an idle. It protects that truck. It's going to do it this time one more time, then it's going to go to idle and stay there. Now if I change it and fix it, I didn't get you in time. Designed to keep you from burning up the pump. Now, when you've got it cranked up to 125 psi or 100 psi, it's a lot louder than what I just did. It's going to get your attention. You said the other unit was just like this one. Once you get used to listening to this run, you'll know what it's doing. I can go over here and do all kinds of stuff. When I started in the fire service, when I was running the pump, I stood right here. I didn't vary 2 feet from this pump out. Now we have to do 42 other things, so we're moving all around the truck. So you got to get used to listening to this truck and doing things, and it will take care of itself. Questions? Okay. Next thing is, I don't know what you're carrying on this truck, but you always leave it plugged in when you're in the second. You got flashlights, you got whatever. I think that is everything on this side. You can, whoever can take it out from here for me, please. And you can shut it down. Any questions over what I went over?
What was it that you said turned when you put it in pump gear?
This lever went out a little bit. I'm used to seeing them come all the way out to here, and this one only came out about this much. This is a manual pump drive. It will move when it only.
About 3 inches.
Yeah, right. Okay. It only came out about that much. Man, these guys are tough.
Video.
Well, you said we were gonna play with them.
Yes, never. Yep, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. One improvement that we have made in life right up here is the sensor for these doors. It is now hidden up top. So there is nothing down around here, so when the other part of it is up top, and I'm standing here lying like a pig, it's right here. That's what I get for paying attention to Pierce. Yep, they moved it on me again. The new system on the big pumpers, it's up there. They moved it back down there. Stand corrected. You wanted to know how to get the water from point A to point B? From tank 1 to tank 2?
Yeah.
Right there. It's called a floater pump. It'll pump 250 gallons a minute. You take 2.5-inch hose, take it from this one, throw it in the other tank, crank this one up, float it in the other tank, and it'll put 250 gallons a minute over across. Okay. That's the other way. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to step to the cab and we're going to talk about it a little bit. Kick you out. Okay. I'm gonna go off and forget those. You know that. All right. This is what I was talking about earlier. Turn the battery on. Turn the emission switch on. I will climb up. By the time I get in the truck, it's done. It's ready to go. I can hit the start button and I can haul. Go on about what I'm doing.
Williamson Fire Dispatch. Road. Respond on TAC 9.
All of these buttons right here that's your headlights. That increases and decreases your, right here. All of this stuff up here is cruise control. I don't know how often you're going to use the cruise control, but it is there. You have your turn indicators here, your windshield washers, everything, and your flash to pass and the bright lights are all located right here. Right here is your engine brake. It's on, off, and then it's got on. Now that's low, medium, and high. There's your on and off on it right here. On and off is on the left, and you have high, medium, low. The other thing about this truck is if you have an ABS event, it automatically turns off the brakes, auxiliary braking system. They're gone until that ABS event is over with, and then they come back online. But they automatically shut off so you're not having two separate systems fighting with each other. Unbeknownst to here, right here, that is your tilt up and down for your steering columns. Foot pedal right there in the center.
Wow, that's weird. That's weird.
Yeah, it's right there. You can do whatever you want to with it, but it's hidden right there. As they said in the video we watched, that's your diesel fuel gauge right there, and it has the green DEF markers under that. Right here is your parking brake, pump, gear. You're all familiar with all of that. Right here is the window control for this window. This is the control for locking the doors. I've already suggested to Chief to get a key and let you hide a key in one of the compartments, because if you're messing with the windows at a fire and it's running and the motor's running, did you hear what just happened? I accidentally hit that button and the windows are all up, and I shut the door, and guess what? You're locked out of the truck. Put one in there because this key does not remove. So that was a suggestion. Right here is the high idle button. I would always turn the high idle button on. If I'm sitting for more than a minute, that needs to come on. Next to it, it says green light, says okay to run the high idle. You come over here, this is the load manager. You need to keep the load manager on at all times on this truck. It looks at how much battery power I'm taking off and how much
103,
battery
Tom. Just
power
501.
I'm putting
Need
back
assistance
in.
over there.
At 12.9 volts, it starts shutting stuff down. The first thing that goes down is your air conditioning. Bye-bye. And then it goes down from there. It does have what we call a limp home mode. We'll get you home with headlights, taillights, and that stuff. If you happen to lose a fan belt, it powers all of this stuff, you're on your own. You're going to run till the batteries die, then it's over with. So, next to that is the siren horn switch, to where you pick whether you're going to hear the siren or you're going to hear the horn through that right that way. It's got the siren up now. Mashed over here. This is the master switch for your dumps. You flip that up and it actuates all of this. Okay, all of this becomes active. You can see that it's telling me valves are closed, valves are open, but that actuates all of this. Then everything is up and ready to run. Right here is mirror heat. For the heat on the mirrors, right there is what I was talking about earlier.
R31, brush fire, 7109, Crowcuts Road.
Punch it down, it is not going to regen. It needs to stay in the center location right there, so it will regen. If it's telling you it needs to regen, you punch the top, hold it for 5 seconds. Do not touch the brake, do not touch the gas, and it will take off and regen until it's done. 20 to 40 minutes, depending on how much soot you've got on there, is how long it's going to take. If you get a call in that interim time, you can hit the brake and it will take it out of that, or you hold the regen button for 5 seconds, the signals will flash at you, then you come back to idle, all that. Okay, siren brake is this red one here. This is your front flood. You push it up to come on, it's green. Then you punch the button again and it goes off. You have then the driver's side flood, passenger side flood, and rear scene light. All of them are on. Okay, now you have two lights over here. This one is for the tank rack driver. So if that is not bedded all the way up, you're going to get an alarm in here, and that red light over there is going to be flashing at you. The same thing with the bottom one down here, that is for the right-hand side. So it's going to tell you what's going on. Okay, I think I went over all of those switches. That's your heaters, your air conditioning, and all of this. If you, depending on what the boss says, I'll flip a switch over here. Have y'all dumped anything out of the tanks yet? Okay.
Yeah. On that one.
Well, we can.
Let's do it. Let's see what happens.
Up to them.
Okay.
Do it on the passenger
I have a
side.
I'm going to do it. Oh, come on. Let me wash your car.
I just washed it.
No, I'm going to clean it up for you.
Hey,
I have a question.
What is this right here?
Automatic traction control.
Okay.
I have a
You want
question.
it in the bottom side. The bottom side, this is normal up here. The spin, it keep you from spin, but that's where you want it to stay. It's right where it's sitting.
Okay.
You get into a jam, you hold it right there, and then it locks in, and then you can get it back out.
I got another question. If you have the scene lights on in there, right? Can you shut them off over here, or
Yes.
vice versa?
Yes, you're supposed to, but let's try this. Okay, hang on. Driver's scene, it's on. Now go turn it off.
Well, there's nothing on right now.
You know,
Not up there.
No, not up there. It wasn't.
you know why?
It's not on. There you go.
That is what
Try it
that
again.
switch does.
Oh, wait.
Turn it off. Yep, off up here too. You just got a good taste of what Load Manager does. It said no, I don't have enough amperage. Okay, next switch down. Let me shut this off again. Right here, mirror heat. That's the regen button. As I said, down is regen inhibit. What in the hell?
They're moving a dumpster.
Okay, right here, if you can stand. Do they dispose of explosives over there today during the time? Right here, if you'll come up here and kind of look, you can see this other button on top of this button, and that's one you have to punch it down before you can punch it in. That is your tire chain. Will not go in now. Siren brake, front and all the floodlights. Okay, here we go. Would you shut that door? I'll just dump it. You want to dump the whole thing?
No.
I can't see. I shut the door so I can see. Okay, it is a valve.
Right before practical goods.
Oh, come over here.
You need to bring anything?
It is a valve. You need to watch it when you start opening it. It is, you have to hold it and it'll start slowly open. I did not go all the way open with it.
Okay.
So you have to hold it to get it to open up. So it just slowly opens up and then does what it does. You close it, you pull it all the way back, and then when the valve shows valve closed, because I can barely touch it and it'll say valve open, but you're not getting much water. So you have to hold it. It's like an electric valve on anything else. You turn it on and it just slowly opens. It does not slam open, does not slam close.
Also, the same switch is what extends the chute.
Right,
So you push and hold, you're extending the chute out, then it opens the valve.
right.
When you're closing it, you're closing the valve and then retracting the chute. So you're going to hold that button for a while.
Right. It's not a momentary done. Okay, the other thing I didn't show you across here, the top, self-explanatory. Flip that one switch, it turns on every red light you have. I want to warn you now, let's say you're at a wreck and you turn off the upper rear and you turn off the lower rear because you're working off of them. You get done at that scene and you turn the lights off. You come back for another call and turn them back on. You have to manually turn these two switches back on.
What are those?
The rear, they're emergency lights. All of your emergency lights are switched separately. And I can turn certain ones on, turn them off, but it's like a master switch.
It's like the old thing.
Siren is next to you. Backup camera comes on when you turn on the backup camera. I mean, put it in reverse and it comes on.
Which seat is the seat? Which switch is the seat massager?
It's this button right here.
Those are
You can
manual
hear it working?
Yeah.
That's it right there.
What road you're on.
The magic fingers. Or did that come out of the tank?
I'm pretty much done with them.
That's why they
Unless they have more questions.
They lost their tools.
Anybody have any questions?
Y'all been into the hood?
All right, wait a second. That's under the hood. You want to see something funny? That's a Cummins motor, right? What's that say? Just one of those. I'm gonna throw that one out.
Do we have to do anything with that water separator, or is it automatic?
That's fuel anyway.
It's got the battery.
Battery's hidden in there. Right there. So when you have battery jump here, that's the positive there. Hit negative wherever you want to hit it, but right down there is the positive. If you walk around here, and then that's the positive one. That's the negative one.
Oh, okay, I see. Right there behind the
I hate to be this way, and sometimes I act like I don't know what stuff is. They move stuff on me continuously. Used to, you didn't have a negative stub. You only had a positive. Because they said, oh, you got all this metal, just plug it up. So, but now they put a positive stub on there because they don't want you smacking the computer, and that's what you're trying not to do. You have lights under here you can get to. That is your power steering fluid. Guys, all these fluids on this truck are specific. They use specific radiator fluid, they use specific transmission fluid, they use specific power steering fluid. The only two fluids that are not specific is what you put in that water tank and what you put in that windshield washer. Other than that, you need to follow the guidelines they put.